Leaders from across Fulton County gathered to discuss the state of the county. Commissioner Chairman Robb Pitts talked about growth as well as the state of the Fulton County Jail and the recent FBI raid of the county's election hub. Atlanta News First, Sarah Hammond reports from the Eastern.
In his speech, Fulton County Commission Chairman Robb Pitts touted the county's growing healthcare resources as well as upcoming upgrades to the Fulton County Jail on Rice Street. And he also addressed the recent FBI raid on the county's election hub, promising that the county has safe and secure elections.
As I visit communities across our county, I hear concerns about the future, about public safety, about affordability, and about elections integrity.
Chairman Robb Pitts shared a firm response just 1 month after FBI agents raided the county's election hub, taking hundreds of boxes of ballots and documents related to the 2020 election under a search warrant that claimed, quote, defects had been detected.
We will fight fire with fire.
He emphasized Fulton County elections are secure and fair and condemned calls by President Donald Trump to nationalize elections.
But let me be crystal clear about that. We will fight any effort to take over our elections with every resource that we have available to us.
When it comes to the Fulton County Jail, Chairman Pitts says the county will invest $1.1 billion to make what he described as sweeping improvements to the deteriorating facility, as well as a medical unit to address the mental health needs of inmates.
More than half of those inmates struggle with mental health challenges, including substance abuse. Now let's get them the help that they need, get them out of jail, and get them back on a productive path.
And as concerns and conversations grow about immigration and customs enforcement in communities, Pitts also says they're working to get ahead of any potential problems or clashes.
We're now working with our mayors and congressional delegation to develop a coordinated response plan in the event of such federal action here in Fulton County, Georgia.
Pitts closed his speech by emphasizing public safety and transparency remain priorities for the county of more than 1 million people. At the Eastern in Fulton County, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.